Good Friday morning, church family. We're glad you're with us today. We may skip summer and go right to spring and go right to summer.
It's hot this week. It's hot, but last weekend was incredible.
Oh man,
wasn't it busy with D-Now, with all the students here? We had the prayer event with Claude King. Had a wedding last Saturday too. So it was a busy weekend. It was a good weekend at First Baptist Church.
It was. Sunday morning we had all the students sitting down front.
Yeah,
that was a great sight. So let's talk about this week coming ahead. 9 a.m. is our Connect Hour, small group time from preschool all the way to adults, military, college, all kinds of classes in there for everyone. So get connected in that this week. Immediately following that is our 10:30 a.m. worship service. We start a new series this week.
This week, the book of Ruth. If you ever read the book of Ruth before, if not, I encourage you to do so. We're going to be in Ruth chapter 1 this week, talking about family matters, but the sermon title is Standing at a Fork in the Road. How many of you on this Friday are thinking about you're standing at a fork in the road? You're going to go one way or the other. They face that in the book of Ruth, so we hope you engage with us in person this week. If you're going to worship with us online, Claude King was our guest preacher last Sunday morning. He talked about becoming a house of prayer for the nations. You'll be able to watch that message, some challenging thoughts about prayer and prayer lives. And so encourage you to engage there with that. Invite somebody to worship with you, watch it as well. Worship with us in person, that would be great. Week in and week out, we say this, but we mean it. Thank you for giving your tithes and offerings week in and week out. Again, you're giving. We're up giving this year compared to 2022, and that's one of our goals. So thank you for your faithfulness and your generosity. John Mark, also, as we think about coming up soon, March the 5th, we're a church that has a missions ministry literally to the nations. As we pray, give, go, send, educate, those things. But we got a Brazil mission trip coming up in May, but the deadline is this Sunday.
The deadline is this Sunday. If you came to that interest meeting and you've gained information on whether or not you want to go on this mission trip, you need to decide by Sunday. So let Jason, our mission pastor, know, and just get your information in. And I know many are looking forward to that trip. I've talked to several that are going, and they're looking forward to that.
And we're going to be in Rio, and we're going to be doing evangelism and discipleship. We're going to be working with a church that's been replanted, so it's going to be a fascinating trip. We'll probably even be in the local schools, being able to minister to kids. And have you ever thought about sharing the gospel in a local school? We're probably going to be able to do that when we go to Rio. So I hope you'll pray about that and consider about going. Do you have the Chick-fil-A app on your phone? Do you use that? I do too. Yeah. And hey, we're not going to be able to use it on Wednesday night, March the 15th, but we do have a Chick-fil-A dinner coming up on Wednesday night, March the 15th from 4:30 to 6. That's going to be in the fellowship hall.
You don't want to miss that. We'll have some options there too, so it won't be
just
one thing. That's
chicken nuggets.
That's right. Yep. So you'll want to be here March the 15th and get dinner. Bring all the friends and family, the kids. They'll love to hear that we have Chick-fil-A going.
Yeah, and then March 30th, 11:30 that Thursday morning in the fellowship hall, Dr. Kevin Ezel, president of the North American Mission Board, is going to be with us. And as I talked to his assistant this week, here's what we said to her. We want him to talk about leadership, talk about the Annie Armstrong Easter offering, talk about what's happening at the North American Mission Board, and then I even said, have him to tell a few jokes. He is hilarious. It's going to be a great time. It's for members of our church, but also pastors and other leaders in our area. We would love for you to come. Now, John Mark, they can't use their app again, but what's for lunch that day?
We'll have Chick-fil-A that day as well. Yeah.
So be ready. You can sign up online and be a part of that. But that's coming up on March the 30th. And then we want you to be aware of this, because this is one of the significant Sundays for us as a church. Every Sunday is important. We celebrate the resurrection every single Sunday. But on Sunday, April the 9th, is Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday. And John Mark, we're even talking now about praying and who can our people and who can we invite to come and join us on Easter Sunday.
Yes, we've been contemplating what we can call that invite, whatever you want to call it, push. But I think we've come up with one-to-one.
One-to-one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if every person that's a regular attender can think of one person that you know that you need to invite and you can invest some time in, and not just hand them an invite card. We have those printed. You're welcome to hand those out all around town if you'd like. We'll have those printed and available to you. It's just like our regular invite card, but this is specifically for Easter. But think about that one person that you know really needs to be here, and if each person one-to-one can invite a person to join us that Sunday morning, we can have a big celebration to celebrate the resurrection of our King.
It would be amazing to see our worship center holds a lot of people.
That's right.
Be overflowing with people on Resurrection Sunday. As John Mark even said that, I just encourage you on this Friday morning, What about a family member? What about a neighbor? What about a coworker? What about a classmate? What about somebody you know in our community? You know they're not in church and probably not going to be in church on Easter Sunday.
Right.
Your invitation could be the very thing that God uses to change their lives now, but for all eternity. So even start praying, thinking about that now. Well, John Mark, on this Friday morning, Spirit of the Living God. Y'all did a great job on that song last Sunday morning.
The emphasis was on prayer that day, and just thinking about that and thinking about when we pray and we want to be led as a church by the Spirit, and as individual Christ followers, we want to be led by the Spirit of the living God. So let's turn our hearts and minds now to Jesus and sing Spirit of the Living God, and we will see you Sunday.
Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we only want to hear your voice. We're hanging on every word. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we want to know you more and more. We're hanging on every word. Speak to us, O Lord. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we only want to hear your voice. We're hanging on every word. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we want to know you more and more. We're hanging on every word. 'Cause when you speak and when you move, when you do what only you can do, it changes us, it changes what we see and what we seek. And when you come in the room, when you do what only you can do, it changes us, it changes what we see and what we see. You're changing everything. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we're leaning into all you are. Everything else can wait. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, come now and breathe upon our hearts. Come now and have your way. 'Cause when you speak and when you move, when you do what only you can do, it changes us, it changes what we see and what we see. And when you come in the room, when you do what only you can do, it changes us, it changes what we see and what we see. You're changing everything. You move all our fears. When you move, you